You know, it's not bad. I really do like the Sig P320, even though had a kind of rough start to begin with, but it's a really fun gun to shoot. It feels great, especially in the full size. Stock stippling's great. It feels like you have something powerful in your hand. But I think we can do better. Oh, hello there. Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Flux Raider. What happens when you let engineers engineer. It is a really cool concept and it fit a niche that I had. I've been traveling a lot. I'd always carry my Glock 43 with me wherever I went, but ran into an issue where I had to secure the house, and outside of the house, it was in the country, it was late at night. All I had was my Glock 43, not a 43X, just Glock 43 and a little cheap flashlight. And as I secured the outside of the house, I realized how small that gun felt and how inadequate and unprepared I was. So I started looking into options, really started researching heavy into pistol caliber carbines because I felt like that would be the best solution. I wanted something that I could throw in a bag, tiny, and just be a bit of a force multiplier. Didn't want a full long gun, didn't want a rifle, didn't want a shotgun, because I'd be traveling a lot. I need to be able to throw it in a backpack and just go. I need it to be around me and me not to think about it. I just needed something small, compact, but when I needed it, it was more than a subcompact pistol. And out of all the options, I wound up on the Flux Raider. Is it the best option? I don't know. It fits my needs pretty well. Also, I thought it was going to be a lot cheaper than it ended up being. When I first saw it, I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I was like, why would you do that? Just get yourself a, you know, like a 9mm AR, or I know Sig makes a really small MDX. It's cool looking, but it's tiny, you know, and for the price point, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. And I started looking at more. I was looking at a lot of pistol caliber carbines and 9mm that took Glock mags. I mean, there's a bunch of them. I nearly bought the Freedom Ordnance FX9, like their 3-inch barrel. I really liked it, but I saw this and it just kind of spoke to me. The fact that it was smaller, and it just looks like a space gun. You know, this is what the future is. The way I have this one kitted out, basically I have the stock frame. I took a full-size Sig P320 as my donor gun, so I have a 4.3-inch barrel, I believe, which just barely makes it past where my fingers sit on the not foregrip. I went with a Streamlight TRL1 HL because I got a heck of a price on it. I opted for the additional Picatinny on the sides. Would I do it again? I would. If you're right-handed, I would at least get the left side. If you're left-handed, I'd at least get the right side. They have a really nice knurling here that you can put your thumb up against when you're holding the weapon. One of the other things you have to think about when you're building this out is you need some sort of cocking mechanism. You can cock it by hand. It's just kind of awkward. There's a couple different companies that offer solutions. I know the makers of the Flux, they believe it's Agency Arms. They have the really cool slide that comes with either a side piece or a top piece. And you just rack it back, nearly HK feel. I ended up going with the Rainier Arms Rip It Stick. It just basically replaces the front sight with a nice little handle you can grab. Doesn't really add too much weight. Looks kind of cool. Shouldn't get caught on too much. Well, I guess if you're down, you can charge it that way. To put the stock back in, a couple ways. You can hold down the lever, push it in, release the lever, or the fastest is pull down the lever, get it in, push it in all the way, it locks in. Pretty good. Also has two quick disconnect points here and here if you wanted to have a little single point sling, which I'll probably get in the future. Just that way, if you have to do something, it can go kind of get out of your way, but you still keep control of it on your body. So, without further ado, let's do some shooting. She shoots. All right, first drill is going to be the bill drill. I'm going to start with my Glock out of the holster just to make it a little more even against the Flux Raider. Shouldn't be that hard. Hardest part of this for me is counting to 6. So. That was 7. See, I can't count. 256, not bad. All right, next bill drill, we'll do it with the Flux out, obviously. Seven at 211. Let's do one more. That felt good. $198. 7. Once again, you know, like I said, can't count. Hope the school's failed me. It's definitely a lot easier with the Flux to get it and keep it on target and just rip and not having to worry about a lot of the other fundamentals. Obviously, you have more points of contact, so it's going to be a little easier. All right, we're going to do a 1-in-1. I'm sure there's a technical name for it. So I'm going to see how fast I can fire shot, reload, fire shot. So I think the only thing that's going to hurt us is my lack of time on this and fumbling around. Also, I noticed that these mags don't, like, you gotta send them home, give them a good slap. So we'll see how that goes. Starting at low, ready? $355. See if we can do any better. That one was worse. 476. $423. First one was the best one. I definitely see how that can be faster. I just need to get that muscle memory down. You know, a lot of times I think we forget when we've been shooting ARs and Glocks since we were 15, 16 years old, and just muscle memory, and then trying to learn something new. You're like, oh, it's not as good. Well, no, you just don't have thousands of hours doing those motions. You haven't sat in your room by yourself doing sports over and over again. Anyway, I think one addition that may be good is maybe a little more proud slide release. Definitely need to work on that a lot more. It's hard to tell. Come up here. When you're doing the action of dropping both, see how it moves both these forward and inserting there, to reach up there, it's kind of blocked. I gotta arc your hand or move this hand over to release. Or I guess I could do that. And having this issue with my Glock ever since I switched it to 9mm. Because the Glock 22, I switched to 9mm. My first video was actually on why I did that. Ran great for a while. Now running into this fun little thing where it decides that it doesn't like to run fine. Basically, it will not lock back on an empty mag. I'm the one guy who has a Glock that doesn't work right. Gotta lock back. Ooh, 342 with the lockback. Alrighty, final thoughts on the Flux Raider. I really like it. Some things you give up are a little bit of the ergonomics, a lot of the accuracy. I know on it's a 3 or a 3.5 inch Freedom Ordnance FX9, that thing's a laser. But then again, it's an AR platform, so I mean, the buckstock, pistol brace is as big as the Flux Raider is. A couple of things I noticed. It's yeah, you definitely, if you're not doing a comp or a can, you want to use the full size slide and barrel, because that is mighty close to your fingers. I even think a comp would be very nice in this thing. I may look into doing that in the future. I'm not going to silence it. It's not really the use case. If I silence this, then it gets much longer, and that defeats the entire purpose of why I got it. I want this to be as small as possible. I want to be able to throw it in a backpack and just call it a day. The other thing is the sights seem really high and really far back. And I know they have to do this to clear brass coming out and clear the slide, but if you're wearing a hat like me just to keep the sun off your face, and if you're shooting in some difficult positions around cover or whatnot, you're going to be kissing your hat to the side every now and then, and just it's hard to get a visual, get a good sight picture. The other thing is the stock wall, or the pistol brace. Sorry, pistol brace. While it's very nice, it is lacking some of the comfort of other pistol braces that I've had. I may look into SBRing this in the future and putting an actual stock on it, not a pistol brace. We'll see. I don't know if that's worth $200. But yeah, other than that, it's awesome. I think it needs a comp is definitely on the list. Maybe a pistol brace, and maybe I don't wear a hat, and we'll call it that. But just the size of this, it's awesome. I would advise putting a flashlight on it, because it makes a nice place to rest when you're shooting around cover, and it gives you a couple more centimeters, maybe another inch of protection, because the biggest fear with something like this is your hand sliding in front of it. So when you're shooting it, if you do end up getting one of these, just be aware and be in the moment, and don't try to do something that you can't do, and you should be good. All right, if you like this, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, you know the whole 9 yards, feed the algorithm. All right, you guys have a good one.